The last few months have been some of the hardest for me in many years. I went through a big emotional blow, and something that's important for me, bringing you on my journey on the channel, is for me to be real and honest with you and to express my struggles as well as, the things that I've been learning that have been supporting me. And so I want to share with you the 7 steps that I have taken to work with this big emotional blow, because even if at the time it just feels like pure pain, there can be a lot of learning from that pain. So here are the 7 steps I needed to take to work through this big energetic challenge. Yeah, first of all, what happened to me? I got scammed, I got done, I lost all of my money, went down to zero. I did a 7-day fast up in Scotland and had a really beautiful time of learning more about myself and feeling more resilient. Coming back on the train home, I got a text from a parcel delivery company saying I'd missed a delivery. I'd booked the redelivery using my credit card. And then on the train down from Scotland, I got a call from the bank saying that that text was fraudulent and malware had been downloaded on my phone, so I needed to close down my account in order to protect my money. I sent my money to the fraud holding agent, and then maybe, as you were guessing, the people posing as my bank, they were the scammers. It was a 2-part scam. The text was just stage 1, stage 2 was the call saying you've been hacked and we need to help you. So we've already got to idea number 1, which I didn't do, which is to practice holding your boundaries. Some of the emotions that were coming up for me immediately were shame, like, I'm the Tai Chi person, I'm supposed to take a breath and come to my inner wisdom when I have challenge like this. And I didn't do that because I trusted them, and it is good to trust people, but also know that there are people that do want to manipulate you and rob you, and we do need to protect our boundaries. So if there's any part of your inner wisdom, your body intelligence saying this isn't quite right, listen to that. Maybe taking a breath can be really supportive, and that is something that when I was on the train I just didn't do. So I make it back home and I've lost everything down to zero, and this year's already been a tight financial year. I've been making a film which I'm so excited to share with you, but I've also been losing money, and then to lose literally everything was really tough. So stage 2, which I did do and I'm grateful for, is to begin to get help and ask for help. Don't hold your emotional challenges by yourself. It's so important for us to be seen and to be heard and to be understood and loved for that challenge and for the shame and for the grief that was coming up for me. So getting support from family and friends, and I started therapy as well. I have had therapy and coaching in the past, but I restarted therapy and it's been just really beautiful, and I'm so grateful to have someone hold space for me. Idea number 3 is meeting your emotions, even the challenging ones, with love and with kindness. Day 3 after the fraud, I came to the river and I did a rain meditation. You might have heard about it. It's made by Tara Brach, and it's something that actually I share in my meditation sessions as well, because it's just such a beautiful way of seeing what's here. RAIN stands for recognize, accept, investigate, and nurture. So yeah, I had all these emotions running through me and just really accepting and welcoming it. Like I was giving myself a hug, putting my hand on my heart. And what other practices do you have to meet these emotions with kindness? Because yeah, there's the initial pain, but then there's our resistance to that. So I shouldn't be feeling shame, I shouldn't be feeling grief. But that shouldn't and should is a key word to work out for. These self-judgments can actually keep us stuck in these challenging emotions that aren't serving us. The next step I took for supporting myself with this emotional blow is seeing myself in terms of parts. I did an internal family systems therapy session, another great form of therapy that could maybe support you. So I realized that losing the money was one thing, but actually it revealed an underlying imbalance, that Service George was taking up too much space. I can go and run off and be by myself learning in Scotland, but then Georgie wants to be with people and wants to play and wants to be in relationship. Maybe beginning to identify these different aspects of yourself, the bits of you that want to work and do stuff, the bits of you that want to play and to be in connection, because then I can begin to relate to all these different parts and make sure that I'm giving them what they need. All right, we're on to step 5, and yeah, this was a challenging one for me. So you might know the equation that suffering equals pain times resistance. That pain is inevitable. Like, we'll have physical blows and emotional blows. Like the grief that was coming up for me, that was pain. It was there. I couldn't do anything about it. This is where it was a new learning for me this time round, is that I began to notice myself comfort eating. And this is kind of an old strategy for me. And my taskmaster, the strict disciplinarian in me, was like, George, you must be stronger. All these practices you've been doing all these years, you shouldn't comfort eat. Shouldn't, that key word again. And so I was resisting this strategy that my embodied being was doing to support myself through this challenge. And it was only in my therapy session that eventually the therapist was like, you're fine, you're fine, just relax, like maybe comfort eating is what you need to do right now. So that was a big teaching for me, is that we do resist. Like if suffering equals pain times resistance, to be human is to resist. And so can we send love and acceptance even to the resistance? For me, that my resistance was comfort eating in order to distract myself from the pain, and that's all right, that's just fine. And yeah, maybe over time your wisdom and with practice will guide you to healthier habits. In that time, I really needed to give myself permission to just be where I was. Next idea is trusting ourselves, trusting the process. And yeah, my journey has helped with trust, because the spiritual journey, if that's a word that works for you, understanding our connection to the universe, that I come from this great mysterious intelligence that has created the beautiful autumnal trees with their amazing orange leaves, and you and I, resilient beings with amazing capabilities. Trusting ourselves and trusting the process, that with grief and big emotional blows there are these oscillations, and they do dissipate over time, and there are some things that we need to do to allow them to dissipate and not to get stuck, but just trusting that we can't control the waves, but we can learn how to surf. And another idea, and this is for one when you feel on the other side of the emotional challenge, is to see if you can get your needs met and to be imbalanced before having big shocks and big pain. Because as I shared, I was out of balance with Georgie needing some more love and connection time and friendship and relationships. And I was working on my service instead. And so there were warning signs that I didn't listen to, and eventually it took the fraud to say, hey, the universe is like, come on, wake up, rebalance. So ideally, we don't need to invite in that big blow. If we can be sensitive and attentive to what our deep needs are and give ourselves what we need before the big emotional blow, then that means that we can navigate life more skillfully. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu talks about this. He says, the biggest problems, they start from small beginnings, and if you attend to them at the small beginnings, they never become big problems. It takes practice, but it has a lot of potential. I want to share one more idea about how you can integrate what we've talked about into something that can support you. Before we get there, I want to share something, and I wasn't sure if I was going to include this, but I feel like it is right to express it, and that is to express what I'm trying to do on this channel and how you can support me. Because I'm passionate about sharing ideas and practices that can support you to raise your energy, and how that then feeds into our collective well-being. We've got the climate crises, we've got division. If we had the tools to support one another with our emotions, to be able to feel anger but not to act out of it, to be able to deal with grief and loss without then just going straight into attack and blame, we have great potential. So I am in a tight financial situation, and the way that I fund myself and the team is mainly through the online Tai Chi Academy with Master Gu, and then my own teaching academy, as well as then Patreon as well. Joining one of those academies means that you get loads of learning, and there's so much on offer for you, and you get to support me and my work to reach more people. And I know that a lot of you are going through financial challenges as well, so I really just honor your presence here, and I'm really grateful for you. And I will passionately continue to make videos on YouTube. I trust that I will get through this challenging time. If you haven't joined Master Gu's Tai Chi Academy or my online Wayfinder Academy, there's so much learning available, and we have free trials so you can see for yourself what's available. So there are links in the description if you want to check that out. So here in England, it's turning to autumn, and I went through the winter of the soul and the heart, and there are seasons in nature and seasons to our own lives as well. So whatever you're going through, I hope that these steps can support you, journaling on them, seeing what practices can support you, reaching out for help, and just trusting the process, trusting yourself that there are seasons to life, and the only constant is change. transformation. So hold on to your center, do some Tai Chi practice, and if you want to check it out on the YouTube channel, you can do some movement with me, or just, any sort of mindful movement where you can come into your body, because the here and now is all right, and it's often the heady stuff that gets us confused and lost. And we need to sort out the stuff that the head is bringing up, but we don't always need to habitually be stuck up here. And that's a practice, it's a training to re-embody. So I hope your practice serves you. I hope you get through some of your darker seasons. There is spring on the other side. Sending love and gratitude to you.